Hi, I'm just gonna today talk about what I learned today. And the thing is that I was not able to learn something so deeply because we were trying to just like find the items that we wanna build, and so we already find the item today. So that means I really don't have time for this focus on the engineer thing. But so I'm just gonna recap the key thing. So what I really think about the GitHub branching strategy is it's really hard. So what do you mean it's hard? If you're just the uh, engineer that if you're just self the engineer, it's really hard to get grabs of how to do the branch strategy, how to set a branch strategy or those kind of thing. But if you really work on the big tech company, you're able to learn like most efficient way what they're doing. So I'm just gonna keep it this way. So this is your fancy branch. So main, and there's already other branch that's called the develop. So it's just the branch. You don't have to care about some kind of but you really have to know about this branch is really demonstrate it actually associate with your server, which is live and develop alpha. So what's the key difference? When you're trying to make your own branch, like your fetcher branch, fetcher one, you eventually um, merge into develop because that has to be tested in the alpha, into develop server. So after making your fetcher, you have to merge into develop. So example, you merge it. Example, you merge it like this. And before even merge, you have to test. So what my X campaign does is before merging the develop, we deployed this. We actually made the own domain, not the domain, it's subdomain. Sorry, we just actually deployed. We're using S3 or whatever, using AWS, and so this gonna be a fetcher. This is gonna be a fetcher server. So what do you mean by that? Mostly there's a huge fetcher. Example, you made a fetcher A, but there should be some kind of QA engineering that has to be the QA engineer has to be tasked on it. But rather than merging into develop because the problem of merging develop and doing the QA is sometimes develop has to be merged into main live and has to be deployed into immediately. And if your fetcher is not test enough, and that is merged into develop, there has to be some kind of issue on it. So you have to make a branch that for the one fetcher, and that has to be associated with the server, also with the QA engineering. And after QA engineering, it has to be merged with develop after the approve. And after approve and develop is okay, and we merge into main. And after merging into main, of course, there's a rebranch it. So what happens if so? Wait, hold up. So what if so what if so what if there's another fetcher B? What if there's another fetcher B and that has to be merged into develop here. And this fetcher A has to be renewed, right? Because after merging the develop, it has to be, if fetcher A is based on this kind of version before the fetcher B, that has to be rebased. But mostly we do what our company did, what my ex company did was, after fetcher B merging to develop, we did some kind of GitHub actions, GitHub bots to rebase this fetcher, and that is really awesome. And there's really awesome, and just rebase and those kind of thing, and there's some stuff. If there's conflict, of course that has to be fixed. But mostly, and this is really right choice. The rebase action or those kind of thing is really efficient, and also, and if your fetcher is really big, is really huge, so what you have to do is you have to make some kind of like one big chunk branch. So you have to make a one big chunk branch based on the develop. And after that, based on this chunk branch, it also, you have to make sub chunk branch based on this. Sub chunk branch. Because the reason why the chunk branch is really the reason why there should be some kind of the chunk branch or those kind of sub chunk or branch thing is because if there's really huge fetcher on it, and your code has to be like more than 100 lines of it, and you have to split into branch, because that has to be because it's for the efficient, if it's for the increasing efficiency of the code review. Of course, and after leaving the sub chunk branch, it has to be merged into chunk branch, and it has to be also made after the chunk branch. After merging to this chunk branch, and this chunk branch has to be merged into develop, and after develop has to be merged into main, and that's be this be. I think that's kind of really what I learned from the X company. So the branching strategy is really hard. It's really hard, and it's really hard. But I think there's more about it. But I really forgot of it. So I think this is it, and today was just like explanation of how to do the GitHub branch strategy. So this is it. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye bye.